what are some of your like go-to things like that you eat during the day? Like now, I know you started with doing a lot of juicing. Do you still do that, or like what do you eat now on a regular basis?
Um, I would say my mornings are mostly revolve around fruit. I try to go to like the farmers market on the weekends, and I literally will bring back maybe like 20 or 30 pounds of fruit. Um,
Wow.
and then I'll do a lot of smoothies during the week. So usually I like to do fruit smoothies, and I'm starting now to actually incorporate. Um, I used to do strictly fruit in the morning, and then migrate over to like green smoothies, and then green juices, and then salads, and then dinner. Usually whatever I open up the fridge and I can throw together. A lot of times is what I'll make for dinner. But I'm starting to now start more greens in the beginning of my day. And so I'm not just relying on fruit in the morning. I'm starting to incorporate a little more greens as well. I do like the juice. I am guilty of probably not doing that enough as I should. I would say I do it a few times a week, maybe. It really just depends. Like there's some weeks where I probably do it 5 times, and then there's some weeks where maybe I don't do it at all. I want to do. I did a video on meal planning, and I think that's something that I need to actually take my own advice on, and really be more aware of meal planning and getting things ready so I could have my fruit smoothies and my green smoothies in the morning, have a juice ready during the day. A lot of times I'll take almonds or cashews or dates or even dried figs for snacks during the day. So I'm avoiding that temptation of going out and getting something I really shouldn't be having. Um, and then yeah, I mean it's just having those snacks available to kind of feed that hunger. But just a lot of smoothies. I actually bought this huge, like I guess it's a cooler, but it's like a soft cooler. So I'll try to pack that up in the mornings through like 2 or 3 smoothies in there, and just leave in the morning. And so I have a resource to grab. So during the day, if I do get hungry, I could just go in and grab some nuts or something like that, and then just have the smoothies if I'm thirsty or want something to drink. And also in the morning, I try to do a lemon water. I really like doing lemon water with some cayenne pepper. It's great, just kind of like detox your body in the morning after sleeping all night. And the cayenne pepper gives it a nice little kick. It's good for your metabolism as well. So I do like to try to have that in the morning as well. So it's just a matter of finding out what works for you, and just following it. And sometimes you change stuff. Like yeah, maybe if in the morning I'll have a piece of toast. Like it's I don't want to put myself on a rule, because I think if you become too strict with things, then once you fall off, you fall off everything.
Yeah.
So I really think you need to focus on what feels good for you that day. And if you want to have a piece of toast in the morning instead of having fruit, go for it. Just do what feels right, do what your body's telling you to do, but don't focus too much on rules, because I think then it's easier to fall off as you go. So that's been a big thing, just me getting in that mindset of just making progress, not being perfect. And I think a lot of people focus, like if you're vegan, you have to be perfect and follow this and follow that, where I don't think you really have to, as long as you're progressing in the direction you want to go. I think that's something to really focus on. So
I love that. I totally agree. I think also it's easier if you do like fail, if you have rules, it's harder to get back on track too. But that sounds like really healthy. You're making me feel bad. I don't even eat that.
Well, don't worry. I mean, I definitely have my vegan desserts when I can. So,
Yeah.
and like I said, if I'm out to dinner and if I'm at a vegan restaurant, yeah, I may have some soy meat or whatever. Obviously I don't have it every day.
Yeah.
But you do have to enjoy it when you're out. Enjoy the situation, enjoy the moment, and have a dessert. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of vegan desserts that are out there. Some of them are really good for you. Some of them are raw. They just have a few ingredients. Others are just loaded with sugar. But if you want one loaded with sugar, go have it. Don't kill yourself over the fact that you're having that.
Yeah.
And I think that really kind of puts you in a good mindset and puts you on a good road to succeed on this journey.
Totally.
So, are there any certain types of vegan food that you would say you try to avoid, or
For
you
a
have
long
any
time,
issues with?
no. And for a long time, I kind of like, wanted to be all inclusive, and I was like, I don't know, I just didn't feel like I would be the kind of person that would be like gluten free or soy free, But I actually really recently went soy and gluten free um, because my body was just very much reacting to soy all of a sudden, and I think it's because I never had eaten a lot of soy because it's kind of a controversial thing, and I never thought it really needed to be like a main staple of your diet. But I ended up eating a lot of it over the holidays, and I really started to feel really bad and really like have a lot of digestive issues with it. And it took me a really long time to kind of piece the puzzle together. And I kept kind of dropping things and seeing what would work. And it ended up being the soy. And so once I got rid of that out of my diet, like I felt that so much better within like 2 days. It made a huge difference. So I think just kind of realizing how much of an effect it could have. I haven't eaten it since then, and I probably could eat it in small amounts and it'd be okay. But if my body's has any reaction to it, then I don't really need it, then I don't really see why I should eat it. And then the gluten thing, I think kind of just inspired by how much better I felt with the soy-free thing. And I already don't really eat much wheat or gluten anyways. I went gluten-free as well, and just kind of more to test that out and see if it made a difference or not, because it's kind of like, the elimination diet sort of thing. But I did it kind of too close together with the soy thing, and so I'm not really sure if I can say that it's made any difference or not, but I really just haven't added it back because I haven't really felt the need to. So yeah, those are the two that I avoid at this point. Other than that, I don't really have anything against any other foods, but I still eat mostly just, fruits and vegetables and starches and stuff like that.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I can relate to the soy thing. I remember when I first started, I was eating a lot, and then I just stopped eating it. And then it's kind of one of those controversial foods. Like, do you eat it? Do you not? Is it good? Is it bad? I mean, depending on what article you read and who published it,
Yeah.
it just depends. But I do try to have some. I don't have it every day, but I do enjoy having it. Do you see yourself having it anytime soon, or is that something you think you want to just eliminate completely?
I still really struggle with digestive issues, and so I think until I kind of settle all that out in other ways too, I don't really want to test it.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, once I just like kind of feel better overall and feel like what I'm doing is working and that sort of thing, then I might. But at this point, no, and like there just really aren't many things that I miss that have soy in it because I never really ate a whole lot of it. Like it was never really a huge part of my diet. Like, when I first went vegan, I guess I ate more of it, but that was a while ago, and so. Yeah,
Yeah.
not really.
Cool.
So, when it comes to making up your own recipes, what's like what you think is like the best recipe you've ever come up with, or the best thing you've ever made, or even if it's not your recipe, just like a recipe that you've made, what's like your favorite?
Wow, that's kind of hard to nail down into
Yeah.
one favorite. And I don't even think they're my recipes. I mean, like I said before, there's so many people out there posting like amazing recipes. I'd probably have to go back to my two inspirations when it came to like blog posts. Um, and the Vegan 8, Brandy created what she called these life-changing pancakes,
Okay.
and they were honestly like amazing. Like they were so thick. You made them with a cookie cutter, put the batter in there, and you cooked them. And they just blew me away. Like I couldn't believe I was having not only a vegan pancake but like a healthy pancake. Like
Yeah.
it tasted amazing. Like you just pour the maple syrup on there and it's just I want to go make some right now, to be honest with you.
I've been
And
on a
then
I've been on a real pancake kick lately, so I will have to try that because like giant thick pancakes, that sounds awesome.
oh yeah, you use a cookie cutter when you
Yeah, that's
put
a
them
great.
put them in the pan, and then you just take the cookie cutter up and flip them, and it's just like I think my cookie cutter was real thick or real tall because they came out so thick.
That's awesome.
They were delicious. Like
Yeah.
that's like my go-to breakfast if I have some time in the morning. I'm just like, man, I want those pancakes. I'm gonna
Yeah.
make those pancakes. And then during the holidays, she created one with pumpkin, and it was
Oh.
because the original one was made from potatoes, and this one made from pumpkin, and it was just like, oh, it was so good. That would probably be one of the best things. And then the other person, obviously Emily from Awesome Vegan Life, and I made these chocolate covered like ice cream bars. It had banana ice cream, and then you it's wrapped in chocolate, and it's just you just bite it and you're like, are you kidding me?
I've
Like,
made something like that. Yeah, they're great. Banana ice
oh,
cream is so great.
yeah, they are just like, ugh. It's just like it's amazing when you look at the stuff you can create with just whole natural foods. It blows me away. You put some superfoods in there, you put some cacao in to make some chocolate, or you make banana ice cream and stuff like that. And it's just amazing the food that people are creating, especially these raw chefs that I found. I know here in LA there's some raw restaurants, and you go to some of these and it's it's unbelievable what I've eaten in the past few months at some of these raw restaurants. It blows me away that none of this food is cooked, but yet it tastes like you're in like a 5-star gourmet restaurant. Like they've like made it into like an art form, and it's
Yeah,
so
totally.
much fun to go to those places. So yeah, I mean it's incredible. So
People are
would you
just
say? No, go ahead.
people are just always getting more creative too. I mean, like there's just no end.
Oh, it keeps going and going. I mean, one of the dishes I made are your everything free chocolate cupcakes, and those things blew me out of the water. Like I brought them to some friends. I had people try them, and they were like, "And these are vegan?" And I was like, "Yeah." I mean, they're so moist and they're fluffy and they're just like, it's incredible. Those chocolate cupcakes, and I haven't tried your vanilla ones yet, but I did see the post, so I definitely am gonna have to try the vanilla ones now. But do you have like a go-to dish, like if somebody's coming over or something you want to make? Like,
Mm.
do you
So,
have something that you would be like, okay, I got to make this one because I know I'm gonna nail this one?
yeah, I think as far as savory stuff, no, I'm not very good at cooking savory stuff. But as far as desserts, definitely one of my go-tos from my blog, anyways, has been my chocolate caramel pie. And it's basically like a raw pie with like a date crust, and then you have a layer of date caramel, and then you have a layer of like chocolate mixed into the date caramel, and then you just like stick the whole thing in the fridge. And it's like a somewhere between like pudding and pie, and it's really decadent and really good. That's definitely been a go-to, and I think we've used that for like 4 of the past birthdays in my family, my family gatherings, stuff like that. So yeah, that's probably my go-to. Although the cupcakes have maybe taken that spot. I don't know.
I could understand why the cupcakes would take that spot.
Yeah, I'm definitely a cupcake fan. So, what about like vegan products? Is there anything new that you've tried lately that you just like really love and can't get enough of?
Oh man, I mean, coming back from Expo,
Oh, I bet, yeah.
oh, like you're like on like food overload. I mean, all you're doing is eating all day. You pass a booth, there's something there, there's another piece of food there. There's a lot of healthy snacks coming out, and that I found a lot of companies, flaxseed, chia seeds, and they're incorporating a lot of those ingredients into really a healthy snack. Something that I actually have used this product quite a lot is Lara bars. I've had those. There's only a few ingredients on them. Same thing like Pure bars. But I've tried to also just create a lot of my own granola lately too. God, it's hard to think like of one particular product because there's just so much out there.
Yeah,
I found these what I thought was interesting, and there were actually a few companies doing this. They were actually making savory granola
yeah.
and savory snacks, and because you think granola is going to be sweet, you got your nuts and your fruits and your cranberries or whatever you have in there, but then to have a savory one, it was a surprise when you put it in your mouth, but it tastes so good.
I've seen some of them. I haven't tried any of them. Like, what sort of flavors did they have?
I mean, a lot of it definitely had. Sometimes they have like the nutritional yeast kind of tone to them, but it was just like it's hard to describe.
Have to try it.
Just like a lot of spices, and so it hits those different taste buds, that you're not expecting when you put granola in your mouth.
Yeah, that sounds really
Um,
cool.
yeah, and I've noticed too, like as I've the further along you become and you start eating, healthier, more vegan food, like your taste buds change. Like I remember the first time I had a green juice, I was like, oh, okay, and now I can have any green juice and it's like it tastes great
Hmm.
because your taste buds are, I think, more aligned with where they should be in nature and the greens and the salads. And so it's really kind of weird. Like if I have something like really sweet, I really don't want too much of it. Where when I was a kid or even growing up, high school, college, it's like I really love the sweet stuff, and now it's everything's done like a 180 on me.
Really?
Yeah, and it's cool though. I mean, it definitely makes me feel like I'm where I need to be or I'm going where I need to be because my taste buds I think are definitely where they need to be.
The raw or the savory granola, it was something you should try to like come up with your own recipe. That'd be pretty cool. Post on your
Yeah,
site.
I've made some other ones. I've made there was a granola recipe that I think Emily made and it was really good. Like I just put it in like a mason jar and I don't think it lasts more than a few days. Like I was just every time I walk by it I would just pour some out and just pop it in my mouth like popcorn. So
Yeah, I have that problem.
I think that's easy to do.
Yeah.